Here we go. Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Mary Jane Tracy, Psychic Mediums. Thank you for watching the replay. And a budding astrologer trying to bring you the astrology and the cray-cray of the day. So, welcome, everybody. Hello. So, hello to you all. Thank you for joining me. There's some cray-cray happening, baby. Didn't I tell you it would be an emotional day? Didn't I tell you emotion was happening? Well, the Mercury went over the North Node. And as Mercury went over the North Node and entered into Cancer, it was showing you what is the energy going to be for the next 6 months. Because remember, Mercury is the god of communication. He is bringing in communications to all of us. He's trying to tell us something. So when he went over and I said, there's going to be a lot of emotion coming in. Well, now you know it's going to be happening over the next 6 months with the eclipses. And you know what the eclipses are going to be bringing in. And Mercury showed you. It's going to be bringing in a lot of emotion. It's going to be bringing in a lot of crazy stuff. And within that crazy stuff, we are coming in with a lot of energy. My notes. I've been writing notes lately. A lot of energy. And especially when we're in a sun square moon opposing Mars, which is making a immutable T-square. An immutable T-square means changes. Changes, baby. I'm not taking the last 2 days worth of crazy. You don't have to. And this is bringing in craziness. This is bringing in radical change. What does Gemini do? Gemini brings in change. Gemini wants to do this. Virgo's like, yeah, we could do this, and we'll do it like this. And then opposing over to Mars, and Mars is in Pisces. Emotion. Look at what we got to do. Look at what we have to say. This is looking at, where Mars is coming in, and Mars is saying, here is your alignment to your soul. Where do you want to take that alignment to your soul? I will help you soldier on to that alignment to your soul. Are you willing to take that alignment? Well, as we are seeing, not everybody's taking that alignment. This is really, it's not about what's out there. It's about what's in here. This is where we have to go in. We have to go into our internal core. We have to go into our alignment to where it is that feels right for us. Out there, people are making their choices. We're seeing it. We're seeing it before our very eyes. And it's kind of like a little mini war that's going on, but that is nothing to what is going to be hitting. We have right now, especially with, there's a lot, yes, the protesting is a lot, and I understand where they're coming from, but here it is. Which start do you want to go? Which, this is like, yeah, we can protest, we can do things, but how could we do it in a way that's going to bring justice? And to make sure that this doesn't happen again, how can we come together so we can to make these changes in a very positive, harmonious way? But that's not what happened. And we're going to see more of it happening. That's where Mercury was saying, as he went over the North Node, he said, bye-bye. Hey, guys, you want change? You guys got to decide what kind of change. And the emotions rose high. And it brings in a lot of crazy. And a lot of what I have been saying, we are starting to see it, right? We are starting to see it with plans to buy another home and start renting. This is bringing in where it is about, are you going to fight or are you going to clean up? And that's where Mars is coming in. Are you going to fight or are you going to clean up? And that's where a lot of this is coming forth and getting us to look at where do you want to clean up? Because the energies, I'm going to pull up my chart here, that are coming forth with this T square, and with this T square coming in, and we're looking at all of this energy that's coming in with the sun and coming in, and where is it releasing? Where is this energy being released? It's being released in Sagittarius. So this energy of this T square, it's being released. There's a releasement that's happening that wants to release, but the releasement's happening in Sag. Because we have the sun opposing, squaring off to the moon, and then it's opposite Mars. So, and where does it want to release? It wants to release. Let's release this in Sagittarius. What direction do you want to go? And here we are. We're wanting to release it. We're wanting to go into a new direction. But maybe we're getting too hung up on exactly where we want to shoot our arrow instead of trusting the word of God to come in, or our goddess, or our alignment, whomever, to guide us, and listening. And here we are. And with lovely little Venus she's 16 degrees, and she's getting closer to that sun alignment, where once she goes in, and this is where she will be right in front of the sun and making this Gazini energy. And when she's right in front of the sun, we have the Earth, Venus, Sun. On the other side is a lovely little meteor that's coming in. That is coming right into that alignment. Asteroid, yeah, not a meteor, sorry. That's coming into this alignment. And this one makes a cycle of every 3.5 years around. So, and it just happens to come in right at that alignment, exactly on June 3rd, on bringing in another spark of action, a spark of igniting, a spark for us to start taking a look at it. And Neptune right now is off of Venus. So he's off of Venus. He's not squaring off on Venus anymore. So there's this I want to feel something. I want to feel free. I want to get out there. I want to connect with people. But yet feeling a little bit of craziness on how do we connect, what's going on. So that's bringing in even more. Huge changes, Candace. Where Mercury is and where things are coming together with everything, it's war. It's war. That's, and when Mercury goes, or when Mars goes into Aries, it is starting to awaken, and it's starting to really shake things up. So we're only at the tip of seeing what's happening in the world around us. But what my guides are showing me is what is that internal self that you have to start aligning to? As I said a few weeks back, what side are you on? What side are you on in order to allow yourself to align with your relationships, with your money, with your home, with your work? This is about where you are right now with your environment. This is about you connecting with the environment where you are at, because no one's going to be moving out of this environment of where they're at right now. They are here. This is where they are. So looking at that environment, how am I able to connect it? How am I able to work with this? This is where this energy is starting to come in and starting to have us to take a look. And especially with that Mercury passing. So we know where this eclipse spot, and that's where the eclipse spot, we know what is going to come up over the next 6 months. A lot of radical change and emotional energy that's going to be coming in, and people are going to be running high on emotions. It's that message in the bottle. What is that message in the bottle? What is that message trying to come into us through our emotions, through our intuitions, right? And bring it in. So I'll take fun and excitement for the next 6 months. There you go. Put your order in now. So tonight, a lot of this radical energy, especially with this trine, is going to hit us around tonight, 8:30 Pacific time. It's going to be bringing in. So we're going to start seeing a lot of things, or Saturday at 8:30. Well, I know a lot's going to hit tonight, but Saturday, tomorrow at 8:30, we're going to have that square with Saturn retrograde. And there's going to be a square coming up with Saturn retrograde and the sun. So we have energies that are going to be coming in at, and I got 13, 13, 13 with everything coming in. So a lot of 13s are going to be coming in with the alignments that are going to be happening and coming in. And 13 can be positive or it can be negative. It's all what you feel, but there's a lot of 13s happening, all bang, bang, bang. So we have some funky energies that are coming in for us and making some, with Mars squaring the sun, Venus retrograde. So my guides are just, hang on. My guides are just like, hang on here, Mary. What we want you to understand is that with the predictions that I have made and things that I've said and things that I'm seeing, it's trying to not to scare you. It is trying to awaken you to a place where you are able to connect. So when I've told people to start, in gardening, get a hold of gardening, get a hold of connecting with your neighborhood, connecting with your neighbors around you. I mean, there is a woman up in Edmonton, and she started this a couple years ago, where she lived in a condo, but I think it's called borrowed ground or borrowed yard or something like that is her company. And she's already hired a couple people to work in these people's backyards, where she asked her friend if she could plant a garden in their backyard and said yes. And then another neighbor. And she goes around on her bike to all of these places. Like she rides her bike around and she started a composting and things like that. This is where, this is a connection of making the changes, right? This is a connecting the neighbors, educating people on how to do this process. This is where we are coming into, especially with that Saturn, Sun and Venus, hard choices that we're going to be making. And for my lovely people in the United States, you guys are going to be having to make some really hard fucking choices over the next 6 months by the end of this year. On what side are you going to be on? And you're going to see this. It's like, okay, do I go? And it's like, it's so extreme. Because remember, I said Neptune is at 20 degrees. That is, now go and do your history of 1856 and what happened between 1856 to 1861. Don't run to Canada. What happened in your country during that time? There was a divide, and people had to decide, am I going to be in the northern or am I going to be in southern? Am I going for the slaves? Am I going to be a slave? Am I going to own my slaves, or am I going to allow for freedom? That's part of it that came in, right? There is also the bloody act of but there was only a few slave owners that wanted it, and I can't remember the country. Oh, I can see it. Anyways, they just wiped it from my brain. So this is where it's like you got to decide, and definitely, yes, love your country, but you got to look at, there's going to be a divide. And this is what's coming in. It's coming in with these huge radical changes that are going to be coming forth. And this is going to bring in where, as I said before, and I'll say it again, there's a new party that's going to be stepping up, and another party dissolved, which happened in the 1856. And through that election that happened down there. We also had where this was a time when a lot of women were standing up for their rights, wanting to vote, wanting to, to be considered in the Constitution as human beings. So a lot of women were standing up and wanting to suffrage. It was called the suffrage movement of bringing in change, wanting to be a member of parliament. So changes were happening. People were wanting to make those changes. You see that in Hong Kong. People don't want to be under the Chinese rule. They don't want to have the ruling that they have to be, if they speak out against the government, they're jailed. They don't want that. So we're seeing this energy, and we're going to see where does the world align with that? Where does the world align with that? Are we in alignment with Hong Kong? Are you in alignment with China? So we're going to be seeing a lot of this warmongering. And we got to remember, China's religious state is their Communist Party. So this is where this energy comes in. Are we going into where, yeah, I want people to have freedom. I want people to get along. I want harmony. I want to make sure that people get equal pay for what they do, to get medical care. That's where I stand. I think everybody should be able to go into the doctor at any time and be able to see a doctor without worry, or go into the hospital without worry. That's what I love. To see education go across the board. Education for everyone in all the schools, and getting your education, allowing for you to, if you want to go in and to be a doctor, you don't have to pay $40,000 a year or semester. I want to bring in that alignment. I want to bring in where people are able to live in harmony and peace. I mean, maybe it's a huge utopia that I'm thinking of, but that's where my alignment comes in. When I see what's going on out there, yeah, someone has to pay. Definitely someone has to pay. But that brings in where you have people that are able to not worry. That means that we're taking care of the people who can't pay. That means we are able to allow certain, instead of like even heavier taxes on corporations, having them pay. Why are they not paying? I mean, I pay for a better life. I will pay my taxes for a better life, in order not only to help myself, but help that mother in need who has a sick kid who needs to go to the hospital, but she can't because she's terrified if she goes into the hospital, she has to pay X amount of dollars. Right? We don't want that world. We want a world where it's like, oh, I can go in and pay. I can take my child into the children's hospital, and I know my child is going to get the best medical help he or she needs, without having to coming out of the hospital and having to pay a mortgage. That to me is wrong. To live where a person can drive down the street and they're not afraid because of the color of their skin, and a policeman pulls them over, and they've been told since they were little to make sure if you get pulled over by a policeman, keep both hands on the steering wheel, and you say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and you don't question them and you don't move your hands off that steering wheel until, but even if you do, this is where we want to bring in the peace. We want to take away that fear. We want to be able to say, okay, yeah, oh my God, I was speeding. Oh yeah, my tail light was out. I'm coming in harmony. The people we see, they're not there. We're seeing the fear coming out, and we're seeing it in the astrology, showing it in big, big places. And people are exploding from it. And making judgments, automatic judgments. It's like, just because you see a picture of somebody and what they're doing, there's a judgment there automatically, because that is what you see that person to be. Oh, look at him. He must be a white supremacist because he has a beard and an automatic rifle. No, but that's a judgment. That's an assumption. We see, it's like we see a Black person walking through a very prestigious, he's going to rob us. Is he? He might be going to his house. Maybe he does own a house in there. Maybe he has a friend in there. But it's an automatic assumption. This is where we have to come together. This is where the divides are happening. And the divides are happening in a big radical way. And we are going to be finding major explosions of energy that are going to be coming in this weekend, and they're going to be continuing on, especially as we get closer to the eclipses and the eclipse season that lasts for over 6 months. So we're going to see this popping up and how we're going to have it popping up. And this is for us to look at, oh, it's a comet. Sorry. A comet. The comet that's coming in, and it's dipping into this lunar eclipse. We have this, we have Antares there and Andromeda, these fixed stars that are along with the Seven Sisters and the Pleiadians that are trying to shine our light with Archangel Michael to come forth and give us some real beautiful positive energy. But again, it's that fear, the illusion. If I give up, if I say, it's like, if I say this is what I want, what does that mean? What do I have to give up? Do I have to give up anything? And the Gemini energy is like, what is it that you have to figure out? Just do it. It's like, what do you have to figure out? Because that's the whole thing. People are trying to figure, it's got to be this way. It's got to be like this. And Uranus is coming in and it's saying, no, it doesn't. And it's in Taurus. And with that sun coming over saying, no, it doesn't. We can make it look differently. We can bring in something different, something more harmonious for all of us to be working with. But it's our choice in our direction. They do a huge thing in New Zealand for the Seven Sisters. Once you see them and then see them, it starts the Maori New Year. Yeah. So is that now? Or no, because I'm thinking Northern Hemisphere, because we can see that now from Earth, because the Seven Sisters in June. Yeah. So more into the June, into that alignment. So yeah, definitely. And this is where in 2012 was the Mayan calendar. In August 27th, I believe, of 2010 was the end of the New Zealand, of the Maori calendar. They were like 2 years ahead of the Mayan. But that calendar, which I channeled, oddly enough, was when I started to really set up medicine wheels in the back, in my backyard, and opening them up. And they are showing me that was to allow for the energies of the Pleiadians and those to come in. So that's why one of the reasons why I teach angel alchemy and setting up these angel wheels is just allowing for these positive energies to come into the earth. Direct line and Mount Shasta, yes. And bringing in those energies. So if any of you have a angel wheel and you've taken the class with me, set up your angel wheel, man. Get it going. Get your grids going. Setting up the sacred geometry is very important, because you're allowing for the energies, the positive energies of not only the angels, the Pleiadians, and the higher beings of light and the White Brotherhood of Light to come forth and be with us. Because that's how they can come in and access. It's kind of like a Star Trek platform where people can beam in and beam out. Right? Activate it. Make another one, Tamara. Make another one. Keep that one under your bed, but make another one, which you can do. You just, you can do that. So, so make yourself another one, and that you can activate it even on the side somewhere else, or hide it in your backyard. You don't have to tell your sister. I'm just putting the angels out here, and when you're in the backyard, here you go. Right? That's the whole thing. It's just nobody knows, and it's just, and all of a sudden you got everybody in your family wanting to be in the backyard. It just feels so wonderful out here. It's so peaceful, and you could just laugh. But that's where this is coming forth. It's activating this energy. Oh, your sister's gone for the weekend. There you go. Put it out there in the backyard. Activate it when you go out there. And if you walk around the backyard, you're activating it, letting it in, allowing for that beautiful energies to come forth. So that's one of the things, is that we have tools that we need to be utilizing in order to bring in. There's also something that I see that is unseen, if that makes any sense, where all of this is happening, but there's something up here that I feel is coming through. And I saw it in a dream, and it has to do when Mars enters Aries. And I know there's something coming in that is not, that there's something bigger. Something bigger is coming forth and coming in that time. And I know the new moon on October 16th is really going to activate a lot. And that new moon is really going to be bringing in a lot of and push of energy that's going to come forth. So this is where we utilize the tools that we have to bring in, to activate, to send peace and love down to where things are going on. If you're a Reiki master or Reiki practitioner, pull up, where Minnesota is, and stuff, and send love down there. Send love. Put that city in a grid. Put those people in a lovely grid of love and peace and harmony, to bring in love and peace, and put the people that have done wrong into a grid, so that they can come to an alignment, so that they can be able to change their lives in order for them to step forward in for justice. See, this is where Mars is saying, yeah, take that action, right? This is what we can do. We have the tools. So we got to activate, and we got to start doing those and utilizing those tools in order to bring in the greater change for all of us. So we're in for some crazy energy. I'm going to, tonight is just like, if you want, join me tonight on Happy Hour. Happy Hour will be at 6 p.m. tonight. So join me. It's not recorded. My Zoom link will go up around 4 o'clock onto my Facebook page and stuff. So if you want to join me, and I'm going to have it as a full disclosure. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it full disclosure of anything more that you guys want to talk about. Because some of the stuff that I'm on an open platform here, and I know sometimes it can get taken down, but luckily I'm not that big enough for them to really notice what I'm saying. As you know, so this is where, if you want to join me tonight for my happy hour full disclosure, and just chat about things, or chat about some of the frustrations maybe that you're feeling and that you're seeing within your own world that are going on, definitely we can have a chat about it. I'm just sending out so much blessings out to the world right now, because I know major explosions and energies are going to be coming in, and there's a lot of warmongering that is going to be happening over this next weekend and into the next 6 months. And we're going to be starting to see it in different ways. So send out so much healing out there to the world, and that proper decisions are going to be made by the powers that be. So my lovely people, my lovely tribe, I'm sending you guys out so much love. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Don't let somebody distinguish your flame. Don't let somebody throw you off on your game, because people are going to try and do it. People are going to say things. They're going to do something that might be anger you, upset you. So stay in your light. Call in Archangel Michael. He's there. He's shining. It's like he's this big, powerful. Just think of Dwayne Johnson in the universe, standing up there with all of his muscles and that, with big giant wings, hovering and shining so much light and showering us with tequila. No. So that we feel a little bit better. So have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow. And join me tonight on Happy Hour at 6 p.m. Bye-bye.